What's up, fam? Welcome to the Street Lawyer Podcast. Here we are. I'm your host, Lonnie the Street Lawyer. Now, this is not the usual background here. We are in Miami, my hometown, but we're in a really interesting place because if you see the artwork behind us, it's probably very familiar to you. We are in Atomiko's lair, and he is here with me. What's up, dog?
What
Shit,
up?
man.
Chilling.
Great to be here, man.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for inviting
coming
us.
Thanks for coming through.
Yeah,
Me
man.
up. I appreciate you.
Okay, so let's get started. We are in Miami, and we're kind of with you've turned Miami. You've turned this symbol into the symbol of Miami. This symbol, this orange symbol, you see everywhere.
But it came from the Orange Bowl, and this shit, the Orange Bowl was like the thing.
You remember the Orange Bowl?
Was the
yes!
Thing. Orange Bowl parade was the thing. The Orange Bowl was like the fucking Super Bowl. The orange dropping at New Year's. That is the symbol of Miami. So I did was take the Obi from the Orange Bowl when they demolished it in 2008 and just kind of memorialized and kept going with it instead of doing the letters that I have been doing. But I just wanted to butt in and say that real quick because I didn't turn it into the symbol of Miami. It was already the symbol, but I kept it alive, so to speak, or like put it on the streets more in a different way than the Orange Bowl committee was doing or the Orange Bowl.
That's so fucking cool, man. Yeah. Because I remember ever since I was little, it was always the Orange Bowl. I mean, if you went to the Orange Bowl, something big was going on.
Legit. It was.
And then they started changing the names to all the corporate of all the.
No, that's Joe Robbie.
Oh, that's Joe.
That's Joe Robbie that went from Joe Robbie to pro player to land shark.
I still call it Joe. I still call it Joe Robbie. What do you call it?
Stadium.
You call it Joe Robbie? Okay.
That stadium went through so many changes, and they say it's cursed. That's what cursed the Dolphins and whatever. And I think the demolition of the Orange Bowl is what cursed the Hurricanes. But besides all that crazy shit, the Orange Bowl was a sacred place for Miamians, or let's just say for South Floridians. And then people will travel all over the world to go to the Orange Bowl when their teams played there or whatever event was happening there. So the Orange Bowl, they just wiped that shit out. They fucking
it was like very 80s, 90s Miami, wasn't it? And
well, no, the stadium stood for over 70 years.
Yeah.
So imagine, what we experienced being from the 80s was one thing. But then there was people before that were like...
they were doing their thing too. They were doing their thing too.
It was 70s. It was, I think, it was probably even 60s.
Sure. They were having their fun. But remember the Hurricanes in the 80s? That was all Orange Bowl, man. That was gangster.
National championships and rivalries.
It used to be like the Florida Orange.
Tailgating.
Florida Orange, right? That was what, you know. But then Miami turned into something so much greater than, a symbol, just a fruit that might be native to this land.
Right.
But anyway, all right, so you're the one who did this. This is a fucking interesting ass thing to do. You're a Miami guy, huh?
Born and raised. I was born on Kendall Drive at Baptist, Maine.
That's where I was born, bro.
No shit.
Of course.
Baptist babies. What's up? Both of my kids were born in Baptist as well. I think my wife was born in Baptist. But yeah, a lot of fucking babies born in Baptist. A lot of people die in Baptist. A lot of people in Baptist right now.
Every hospital.
Yo,
as a matter of fact.
Right. That's right. Baptist is huge, though. But yeah, I'm born and raised here.
Of course. You're a Kendall guy, though, like me.
Kendall, yeah. Debonair.
Like me.
Wow. Hot Wheels.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
So we grew up in the 90s. We're 2 years apart. And so what was Kendall like? So how'd you end up here? You grew up, what kind of lifestyle?
Well, I mean, I come from, like I said, a Puerto Rican background. My mom was born in Puerto Rico. My dad is born in the Bronx, New Yorkican. And they moved to Miami in the late 70s. And growing up in Miami, growing up in Debonair was just like fucking growing up in the Crossings. It was just, right around the fucking corner. Right. So you know exactly what, I was really fucking close to Hot Wheels. Right. So I would see all sorts of shit. I could see Circle K from my rooftop, and I would always climb up on my rooftop and hang out on my rooftop and look at the fucking lowriders and all the fucking crazy shit by the phone booths, and there was fucking fights and shootouts and all sorts of fucking crazy shit happening there. So mean, Miami was intense during the 80s, and then Hurricane Andrew fucking ran over Miami, and it got worse. And then I feel like shortly, let's say 3 to 5 years after Hurricane Andrew, is when Miami started to clean up. Let's say.
Right. Yeah. I thought the craziest years was like right after Hurricane Andrew.
Yeah.
That's when
that was
all the graph blew up.
Yeah.
All the graph blew up.
Graph was one thing, but like I'm sure people fucking were blowing up everything, literally. I mean,
Bro, I'm just talking to you about graph because you got your graph guy. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
No,
When it comes to graph,
you know,
the whole shit was wrecked. But even in the 80s leading up to that, it wasn't like Miami was fucking cleaning over everything. Like I saw a lot of graffiti in my neighborhood walking the fucking Devon Elementary.
I remember every wall covered, fucking every fence growing up in Kendall.
Yes.
Absolutely. But remember Hot Wheels. And the real Miami people are going to enjoy this. I was telling her, I took a girl on a date to Hot Wheels. 95. Maybe 96. DJ Uncle Al.
Oh, rest in peace.
Man!
Oh, yeah.
He was performing there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I was so excited. Right?
Hell yeah.
Right? So, I go there with her. They're playing. Bro, every single person up there throwing up gang signs.
Yeah.
And I was telling her about it. She's like, what? In Hot Wheels? I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was wild.
Crazy. Yeah, so, okay. So,
even the B-boys would be fighting there. And I'm sorry to
train
the thought off. But yeah, it wasn't just the gangsters. Like, gangster carried into graffiti and carried into shuffling and the fucking roller skating and carried into fucking dancing and the whole nine.
Right,
what were you going to say about
that? No. I'm glad you brought that up. I want to get into the cultural aspect of graffiti and all that because there's all these different things. It's a lot more than just making beautiful art.
Right.
Because the culture within, you got to deal with. It ain't, you can't just make this beautiful art and not deal with the culture. Maybe now a little more, but not back then. Right. So anyway, okay. Were you like? Did you get in trouble?
Yeah.
Or what?
I wasn't a well-behaved child. I was always.
You seem like a very well-behaved man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was always outside, climbing on shit and fucking riding my bike and just running around and just being outside. And I can't sit still. I have like whatever. I don't know if they call it ADD or whatever the fuck it is, but like I've always been outside.
Got it. You like to move around. You don't like to be in one place like that.
Correct.
I understand.
Yeah. For sure.
You know what I mean? So, okay. So that's the kind of kid. How'd you start doing graffiti? Well, I mean, how'd you start?
I have a talent for art and I like to draw and I have a skill for it. So growing up, I saw art on the wall, saw graffiti on the wall, and it definitely grabbed my interest and my attention. It also got my parents' attention, and they saw that I was talented. So they nurtured that and kept me like in art classes and urged me to like.
Even though they knew you were like doing graph,
it doesn't matter. I was at that point. I wasn't like a real deal writer. I started off as like just copying the stuff and doing it in my notebook and doing it in my neighborhood and doing it like on the school wall or whatever. Like it was all copying until I grabbed a spray can and tried to like actually attempt what I was seeing.
Now, were you down with the guys who were doing it?
Yeah, I mean, my friends and I mean, there was a crew from my neighborhood called TK. And
of course, I know those guys. Yes.
Wow. Jimmy and Nilo. And those dudes had older brothers that were writers that were Val crew and
I remember all these
crew, and then there was I was surrounded by writers for sure.
right. You were surrounded by writers.
I was definitely.
You grew up surrounded by graffiti writers.
Correct. Yeah, and other things, but
and other things, but like so many guys around you.
Yeah,
and that's what people don't understand. Like that's how Kendall was. Like we were like graffiti. What? I'm like, bro, that's what it was all about.
Yeah,
that was so funny. Like I went to college. I went to Stanford.
Okay.
Right when I turned 18.
Yeah.
So I was very into Kendall, Miami, boom. I'm
graffiti.
They're like
Stanford?
They're like in Northern California.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so then I'm like, and when I talk to their high school experiences, they're like, graffiti. I'm like, graffiti, what are you talking about? Like,
right.
None of us were talking about or dealing with or doing, God forbid, doing graffiti.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Right.
I'm like, oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So okay. So you grew up surrounded by all your friends. Not every
Yeah.
single one, but wow.
Right.
More than, if you take a random person out of the phone book in this country, there's no way he grew up around more graffiti writers than you.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you happen to grow up at a time in an exact neighborhood where there was a shitload of graffiti going.
That's right.
No, think about it. That's why I'm breaking it down right now,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so then you were friends with those guys and you were into art. So that was a quick, you know, it made perfect sense. Did they say, hey, dude, you're nasty at art. Why don't you do some of this shit?
Yeah, of course. People saw that. I mean, I wasn't so much into the bombing. Early on, I was more into the art side of things. So I would see what really grabbed my eyes was
Pieces.
pieces and things that have multicolors or just like more involved than just the tags. Because there was a lot of tags, but then when you saw something that was filled in and done nicely,
Right.
and
Yeah.
so that grabbed my attention. It wasn't until early 2000s that I started.
When did you
really
first do a fucking
bombing.
piece? When did you first do a piece?
So I used 96 as my year of starting, only because I stepped from the toy phase and the amateur and the novice intermediate style.
Toy, that's a graffiti phase for
just
youngin,
intermediate, novice, rookie. I went from
but
that
is that
to
necessary? Is it derogatory?
Yes, it could be.
But it
used
doesn't
as
have
that.
to be.
It doesn't
or
have to.
it pretty much
a toy
is.
is a toy. A toy. You have fun with a toy. You fucking buy a toy. My kids love.
Do you have the lighter, babe?
So we I didn't get into to can control. There's a thing. A lot of people grab a can and do a tag. But if you try to go and do like these pieces or do something like more involved, it takes practice and you have to gain can control. So I didn't gain my can control or feel confident in my can control until 1996. So I was doing stuff leading up to that. That's the year.
So you don't consider that that's when you started.
I don't consider 94 or 95 for me as years.
But that's when you got your feet wet out on the streets.
Exactly.
So tell me about that. Like, what the fuck was it like your first time going out?
Well, it wasn't even like that. Like, I remember my homeboy Coz went to Colombia on a family vacation, and he left some spray cans behind the Circle K hidden. So I grabbed the spray cans and started spraying behind the fucking Circle K. So
did you already have your tag?
At that time I was writing Fresh. Fresh was my tag. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I started with my first tag was Ape, and then Fresh, and then I had a fucking dozen other tags before I started writing Atomic. But I would say that my first time grabbing a can was like, damn, this is what it is. This is the real deal. Like, forget the fucking king size Magnum 44 fucking marker that I was tagging with before. That's fucking baby stuff. Now we're talking about spray cans and the real shit, going big or whatever. So it started in a fucking tag in the back of Circle K.
Sure.
To just tagging around my neighborhood, and then, like I said, I focused more on the.
Were you scared of getting caught?
No.
You weren't scared of cops? A guy with a shotgun or something?
I wasn't scared of getting caught, but I wasn't really,
why not?
At that point in my life, I wasn't outside at night on my own writing out. I didn't have a car. I didn't like, I would go to places, Pennants or tracksides during the weekends and paint and do my piece.
You were goody good.
Yeah, I was a good boy to a certain extent. So yeah.
You know, and I was telling you earlier that I have a lot of interest in graffiti. I don't think we put it on. You know, that was my thing. All I did was read it, again, because I grew up where you grew up, and everybody was doing graffiti. That was the thing. And so my tag was Erupt. You know, so I started writing some books and stuff, some friends. Boom.
Who was the best writer that you looked up to at that point?
I remember when I was growing up, like late 80s.
The best
late
that
80s.
You could think of. Not necessarily from Kendall, just like the best writer.
The main guy was Astro.
Astro STV.
Astro STV. That was the guy.
Astro STV was the dude.
That was the guy. When I was growing up, little kid.
Fact.
That was the guy.
Actual
you
fact.
know?
Astro
and then I know there was other guys like Ease and Rage and all that, but I didn't even know, like, bro, I was in Kendall. I didn't even.
That's right.
But then, so then this guy, That was the guy.
Astro and Jasp and Opie, and these dudes were fucking
Crossing.
bombing.
Those are all crossings.
These guys were bombing up the neighborhood.
Yeah.
A lot.
Like a motherfucker.
And it was dope.
Yeah, no, I talked to guys in LA. They know about them. Like, really, those guys? But so I was doing boxing at Tropical Park, and this other writer, tough guy, man. He wrote Error at the time. He was in a crew, I forget which one.
Yeah.
But he was down with some guys and shit. So he's like, "Yo, so what's up? Let's go bombing together." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'm down." He's like, "All right, Tuesday at 2." I'm like, "Tuesday at 2? I'll be at school." He goes, "Not 2 p.m., 2 a.m." I go, 2 a.m. on Tuesday? My dad's gonna kill me. I can't do that. Like, that's what you guys gotta do? Yeah. I'm sorry. Like I gotta get good grades. There's no way. So that's the only thing that stopped me was basically fear of my dad.
Well, like I said, I wasn't out roaming the streets, tagging all night, because I was a fucking young teenager when I got into this shit. I remember sneaking out of my parents' house when I lived in Devonair to go paint one of my friend's rooms in Devonair. And then when I came back home, my mom was sleeping in my bed and I got caught and fucking grounded or reprimanded or whatever. So it wasn't like I could just fucking roam the streets.
You also
my mom and dad were on my shit,
right,
and grounding me and fucking like they were doing their job. So, you know, I probably would have been all city way early on if that wasn't
what's
the
all
case.
City? What's
all city? All city means you're all over the city. Your name is written all over the city.
Now, is that an official status, or
That's
are there people saying? Do people say I'm all city, and it's like, motherfucker, you ain't all city?
Yeah, of course. Someone's gonna say, "Oh, I'm the king of whatever."
Because he got up one little,
I
twice
could be
little.
the king of fucking, you know, whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be. There's always egos involved in everything.
But all city is a pretty objective status. Like, motherfucker,
yeah,
you can't fake it. Like, were you up all over the city?
Right.
So that means you got to hit what? Hialeah, downtown,
everywhere.
Everywhere.
To technically, officially go all city in Miami, from what I understood, you had to go Tri-County, which is crazy.
Palm Beach,
Fort Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. I never accomplished that. I mean, I have a couple things up there, a couple things over there, but like I'm 305, so I would, you know, tag over here.
You focus in Miami.
Majority of my stuff, even when my parents moved out of Devonair, I was still coming to Miami to paint because there wasn't fucking shit going on 75.
So when did you get out there, bro?
When I started to drive, when I start, I would say 97, 98 was when I was like officially fucking really doing my thing. I don't know if I had.
Were you climbing on shit? Fuck yeah, right?
Yeah. I didn't
any risky
really,
shit?
I didn't really start doing the climb. I mean, like I said, I grew up outside climbing and doing all that stuff on the like whatever, but it wasn't until I was a young adult that I was able to go out there and do it on my own and climb and do these things. But again, it wasn't until the early 2000s that I started bombing and then like focusing on rooftops and stuff and climbing and getting to higher heights was probably mid 2000s.
And what were you like going through? Like, were you like, yo, I want to be the fucking biggest writer in Miami?
No, it's just
were you
fun.
addicted to? You just liked it.
I'm having fun and I'm pushing myself to do new things and paint my name as much as possible, and of course be up and
enjoy the fame. But that wasn't it. It was fun. It's still fun.
Well, so I'm saying mid 2000s was when I really started to get up and start hitting these high spots that everyone saw, not just what was on the street level. And shortly after that, they fucking knocked down the Orange Wall. They started demolition of that in 2007. So I'm talking, let's say 2005, mid 2000.
Oh, so your tag was big already before you even got the orange.
Well, it wasn't not.
Were you all city?
No, it wasn't. It was just like people knew me for piecing, and I come from the internet age. So I was never published in 12-ounce Prophet or fucking one of these like legit graffiti magazines.
Well, you're too young for that, I think.
Yeah, I'm an internet writer. Like I was on Art Crimes and fucking these other websites.
Yeah, but you're less of an internet writer than guys now.
Well, now, yeah, but I'm very much. I've been on the internet since that shit fucking dropped. Yeah, and I've used that as a tool to get up.
Yeah,
since back in the days, and I was doing my thing here. Yeah, but if you're painting in a fucking abandoned tenant, a building that like no one's gonna see, then you can put it online, and that's
then
it.
You got
everyone fucking sees it. It's just another way of getting up. So I'm very much an internet writer.
I got you. You have to be.
Straight up.
You have to be. Okay, so tell us about the adventures. Now, growing up with the graffiti thing, there was some gangster shit going on, wasn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got into fights and stuff, typical fucking graffiti bullshit. Like,
tell us a typical graffiti fight for people who don't know, because there might be somebody watching this that's just kind of observing this, like, whoa, I don't know what this culture's about.
So I don't
give
necessarily
us an example without naming names, or
no,
you
no,
can
no,
if you want.
no. I don't necessarily remember my first like scuffle over graph, but I do remember my first beef where people were crossing me out, and then we were looking for them and trying to line up the one-on-one, which never happened. So it was just a series of like running into people and like throwing hands and fighting, where there will be the occasional one-on-one. And it's just like any other fight. You fucking throw hands for, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 minutes. And
you mentioned the
gets
one-on-one.
wild. Someone gets knocked the fuck out, or people fucking take off, or they get seriously fucking hurt, or, you know, injured or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, it's
so hold on. You line up. You say you line up the one-on-one. I like that. So
yeah,
that's kind of some.
We tried early on because a lot of people like to hate on my shit. Even before the fucking orange, I was being like, my whole crew, we were all like getting hated on and fighting, whatever. But like after the
Which
fact,
crew?
My crew was TSC at the point. Yeah, TSC, Top Skills crew, and it's more.
And who are these guys?
It's more known now as 28, because you know how Damn Crew had 727, or let's say you could even. I mean, I guess you could put. Yeah, Damn Crew had 727. We just had 28. That was our thing. It's the code of vandalism in Miami. So if they say we got a 187, someone just got murdered. If we got a 28 then someone's fucking doing vandalism. So that was our crew.
Are they Kendall guys?
No, not necessarily. I mean, Quake was from Kendall, and the other people that he knew that started that crew were from South Miami.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we're still this general area, not North Miami. You know, we're still
right. Yeah, it was South Miami, closer to like Bird or Miller.
Right.
Probably Miller, like Dadeland South, Dadeland North, South Miami, Miami, right there, Sunset Place, like probably around that area.
That's the TSC crew.
TSC.
Top Skills crew. And why were they hating on you?
Well, no, it was just we all can't get along type of shit. I think it was like they wanted to be down. Some dudes wanted to be down. Younger dudes wanted to be down with our crew, and we were like, no, you can't be down with us. Like, fuck you, you know, or not necessarily. I don't know if we said it like that, but it might have been like that.
But like, basically, if someone crosses you out, you go line up the one-on-one.
You try to, yeah.
You try to.
Multiple people tried to get like this shit squashed, and it never got squashed. There was never like a one-on-one going on at all.
Got it.
It wasn't. It wasn't like they were trying to do a one-on-one.
Well, some guys aren't really down for that shit.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But I mean, if you're crossing people out, you kind of have to be down for that shit, right?
Yeah, it was never lined up. Mm-hmm. Until this day, I'll have people from that beef, probably 20 years ago, still crossing out my shit and hating on my shit because of some shit from fucking 20 years
Kendall
ago. Like, we couldn't fucking like resolve it when it first started and set off.
Right.
And couldn't fucking come to any agreement. And just, you know, with that being said, like if you do something good enough or long enough or enough of it, people are going to hate on you, regardless of what it is. It doesn't have to be hating or fighting. It could be like just straight up
anything.
Hatred,
well, that's life. That's people.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up too, there was a larger anonymity to it.
Yes.
Because graffiti writers did not want to be identified.
Right.
Now it's like I teach a class to 6-year-olds on graffiti at Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
Which is good. You know, it's opened up.
Right.
You know, but also sort of the code of writers, right? You got to steal your cans.
Yes.
Right? You got to steal your cans.
Yeah, I was never much of a booster, racking a lot of paint. Right. I pushed a card. I fucking stole like a lot of paint once or twice, but I was never really the stealing type, you know? Chrome caps and little shit. Like I would do little petty stealing, not necessarily these people really fucking get into their stealing of spray paint. Right. And stealing of other things to get spray paint. Like
spray paint's expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, and we're going through a lot of it. So like the people get into it.
So how many fucking pieces have you done on these streets?
A lot. I mean, the orange, you can't consider one orange a piece. I consider it a throw up.
That's just a throw up, right?
So I've done thousands of these.
Thousands? On the streets?
I've done thousands of my orange on the streets. Yeah,
Thousands.
I started in 2008. It wasn't until 2010 that I committed.
Not even 700,
100%.
800. It's more than that.
Because we're talking from 96 to 2010 of strictly graffiti writing,
every
bombing,
night.
fucking tagging pieces and all the letter shit. 2010 was my point that I said, I'm only doing the orange from here on out. And it became the orange only. And I knew that I had something that I enjoyed.
Did that change?
And that people liked.
Yeah.
And
did that change your life?
It changed my life 100%.
What did it do to you?
Now I'm getting people that aren't graffiti writers appreciating my work.
People from Switzerland.
Yeah.
People from fucking Switzerland call you, don't they?
They flew me out to Sweden to do an exhibition. It wasn't in
They paid you nicely?
It was in Gothenburg.
They paid you nicely?
Yeah, of course. So I was getting a much better response than doing graffiti letters. So yeah, I painted thousands of them. I painted thousands of them nonstop from 2010. Think about that. That's 14 years.
So you don't
I'm painting every fucking day. So if I just did one orange a day for fucking 14 years, we can add that up. That's a lot of fucking days. And I'm not saying that I've done one a day, but sometime I'll go into a train yard and do fucking 10 of them or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Or go into an abandoned building and do 10 of them. And even throughout the course of a night, driving around, I can do 10 of them, or let's say 3 of them or whatever. Right. So I have painted this thing thousands of times, and it's just like fucking branding, advertising, identity, and all that shit. It's like, how many fucking times has Nike printed the swoosh?
Well, and you know what else?
Or Apple, put the fucking Apple on it.
It's completely non-controversial. It's completely versatile. Any age, any culture, hip hop, rock, boring,
correct,
old age home.
Yes, correct.
That's what's so amazing about it. And then you could even throw it in like the fine creative art category too, and you get your thing at Art Basel. So what are you doing at Art Basel?
I always do a solo exhibition for Art Basel. Always. Because if you're not like doing something during Basel and you're a working artist, then you're fucking eating shit.
That's a Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's the Super Bowl of art around the world.
Around the world.
It's the World Cup. It's the yearly World Cup for art.
Of art, anywhere in the world.
Insane. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely.
So what do you mean you do your own?
So I do my own thing. I do my own solo show where I have paintings up. I need to do prints. That's one thing about fine art, because you said fine art. Fine artists do work on canvas and paper, and then they have their printed stuff, and from there, whatever. I'm not a fine artist, so I have merch and stuff at my exhibitions.
Well, like, where do you have your exhibition?
Right here. Last year, we're sitting in my
you invite
gallery
people
from
come
last year. Yeah, I've done it like I think 5 years in a row here.
Probably. And what do you do? Play music? Or?
Yeah, sometimes I'll have a DJ. Other times it'll just be chilling. I love going into
dancing.
A gallery. Nah, but sometimes the homies are into it and they'll start fucking throwing down dancing or whatever.
You're allowed to dance.
Yeah.
There's no.
You could fucking dance, whatever. Yeah, there has been DJs, and with music you have dancing. So
and people come from all over the world.
Yeah, I promote it on my page, and people that are visiting Miami and into my work, or just so happen to fucking be with someone who comes through or whatever.
What place has the best graph? Because like Europe is crazy.
So yeah, I mean,
best graph in the world right now.
All over the world. I mean, okay. I've been going to New York City the last 2 trips that I took, and New York City is the fucking Mecca of this shit. It is fucking absolutely wrecked over there. Now, Queens, not so much, but Brooklyn and the Bronx are fucking demolished.
Really?
There is an unlimited amount of graffiti and graffiti writers and street artists and fucking sticker bombers and wheat pasters and fucking...
What about LA?
Okay, no. That's just the last 2 places that I've been to. LA's wrecked. LA was wrecked before fucking forever. LA is active. I went to LA for the first time in 2007, and I just went back like a magnet, like a dozen times after that.
Did you meet up with some writers there?
Yes, I did.
And when you all went bombing, and you all went...
I painted in the river before they did the fucking buff, where they cleaned up the fucking river.
What, you like linked up with them?
The Venice beach walls, Yeah. There was a writer here named Acme. And Acme is from Los Angeles. He moved back. He had a job here in Miami. And
Acme?
Acme.
How old is he?
He's an older dude. If I'm 43, Acme has to be close to 50.
Is he a huge guy?
He's a big dude.
Is he a humongous guy?
It's not the same Acme.
Oh, you're thinking
there's
Scott.
an Acme from New York, I'm sure.
Because there's this guy
there's
who
an
went
Acme
to
from
Killian.
Chicago and fucking...
No, but this guy's humongous. This guy's like
It
6'5".
No, I remember. No, it wasn't
you know who that guy is, right?
I kind of remember that name, yes. And that dude.
He was a debonair guy.
It's not that dude.
Okay.
This guy is from the northeast part of Los Angeles, specifically a neighborhood called Frogtown, and he was working as a warehouse manager or something here in Miami, and he knew I was going to LA. My friend Icon from Hialeah, a Nicaraguan dude, moved over to LA. And we were painting a lot before he moved to LA. Okay. So then I was like, well, I'm going to fucking go to LA and keep painting with my homie.
And you had fun painting in different cities?
And I had a fucking blast out there. Like I said, I went back like a magnet. Their shit is Miami times 10.
In what way?
In people. Sheer amount of people.
Right.
So every fucking thing in the world is times 10 out there.
Correct.
Aside from the beach. The beach, they don't have the warm water. The Pacific Ocean's fierce. Fuck you. Like, you cannot hang in it like the fucking
and the city's
South
spread
Beach.
out. The city's spread out.
The sprawl is fucking crazy.
Right. But there's just so much of everything.
I got charged out there.
Wow.
Charged up, motivated, and fucking very inspired by Los Angeles' graffiti scene.
Really?
Fact. Yes.
Wow.
So now, when you ask me the question of which city has the best graffiti scene, it's hard to answer because every city has their own qualities, every country.
Especially now that everything...
I would pinpoint one city that I've visited twice that I personally feel has the most amount of graffiti and murals and everything, you name it, and that's Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Really?
Wrecked. It's the largest city in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
It is a fucking mega metropolis. There are millions of people, and a lot of those millions of people are fucking painting on the street. It is insane.
What, nasty graffiti, like dope guys graffiti?
If you haven't visited Sao Paulo, I recommend it, and then holler at me and let me know what you think.
What, like dope ass pieces everywhere?
Everything. You name it. Everything.
Wow.
Raven from FA Crew visited Sao Paulo like in the late 90s and wrote an article on the shit in 12 Ounce Profit because he met up with Os Germeos, the twins out there, which are fucking... They have millions of followers now. They're like top of the fucking tier.
Wow. I never even thought of that. That's crazy.
There are a lot of graffiti. South America in general, but Sao Paulo takes the cake. But you have big ass fucking cities. And in Brazil, you have Rio, right? Then you have Buenos Aires. Then you have fucking Bogota and fucking
graffiti everywhere,
Lima and fucking Santiago, and it's
but it's all American inspired, or is it?
No. Of course, yeah. Like Miami, or not Miami, New York City graffiti was the thing that was broadcasted to the world with the subways.
Right.
So a lot of people were inspired by that, but you know, painting on walls, writing your name on walls, and doing murals isn't just a New York thing. It's a thing that everyone does, like all over the world since the fucking Egyptians and the fucking Sistine Chapel and all.
So what about the Miami scene? What's unique about that, or what?
The Miami scene is the weather, man. The weather. We can fucking be outside 365 days a year. These other motherfuckers in the fucking cold.
Yeah, you're right. They're limited.
Leaving their house, and they do it. The writers
that
are hardcore, they fucking do it every single fucking night. But it takes a toll on you. That separates the men from the boys right there when it comes to the weather. But what separates Miami from I don't want to say from the rest of the world, but what Miami has is good weather. And
what about other cultural aspects of the city?
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, you have like. My family, for instance, came from New York. So they brought down all their fucking New York traditions and Puerto Rican traditions, and it flourished here.
Yeah,
and
but
that
what's
comes
weird
with food
is,
and music.
But here's the thing, there was something weird about exactly how you grew up and how I grew up to a certain extent. You're surrounded by graffiti writers. That's very unusual. Even if you grew up in New York, you're probably not surrounded by graffiti writers.
I don't know.
I mean, it depends
then,
where.
In that craze, when it fucking set up, there's a lot of out there. I just went out there 2 different times, and it's
so many writers.
They're fucking names that you have never heard of, and these motherfuckers are everywhere. And you see it when you go to other cities.
There's always new guys coming.
That's why I love traveling, because Miami is a small town. If you really fucking think about it, when you go to these fucking mega metropolises, there are people out there that are just fucking putting in work, and it's crazy to go to like other cities and see all the different names, all the different crews, all the different street artists, and all the different sticker heads and like the stencils. It's very inspiring to travel the world and get out of the hometown and see
these like
people,
new Olympic athletes,
yeah.
essentially,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Like basically taking the torch.
That's how I've got to
Taking
where
the
I'm at.
torch,
Because
you know?
if you stay in Miami and you stay in the States and you only do your thing out here, you're only going to cap at a certain point.
Yeah.
But when you travel to 40 different countries, then now you're like opening up doors,
You know where I
and
went?
fucking avenues, and different people are getting wind of your shit.
Well, no, you're international, bro. You're international. So, Zurich, Switzerland. I went there like 2012.
Yeah.
Bro, that place is pieces.
Yeah. Switzerland is beautiful. We just went there. We just went
but
there
there's
for summer
graffiti
vacation.
everywhere.
The river. Yo,
I know, it's so beautiful.
Forget
Wait, you went to
graffiti.
Zurich?
Yeah, I went to Zurich.
It's so
forget fucking graffiti. You got people jumping in the river, and everyone, it seemed, was attracted to this river. Like, they would have their wet bags, and they jump in the river and throw all their wet bag, and then go wherever the fuck they went, a mile or two down the fucking river.
You're in Zurich, right? I know what you're talking about.
I went to fucking Zurich, and I went to 2 other towns in Switzerland leading up to Zurich. Such a beautiful country.
Beautiful place, right?
Are you fucking kidding me?
I know.
It was amazing over there. I love Europe. I really do love Europe. Yeah, we did Brussels and Zurich. So we did Belgium and
your family?
Yeah, my wife and my children.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you're a nice family guy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, an international artist. I love it that you're from Kendall. I mean, you were able to blow. I mean, you blew up harder than anybody.
Well, an LA motherfucker inspired me to travel. A dude by the name of Cab One, like taxi cab.
Yeah.
Cab inspired me. He said, "Yo, get your passport. Let's fucking hit the road."
Yeah.
And we did just that. We hit Europe, we hit
just,
South America,
but everywhere
we hit
you
Asia, we hit Australia.
You do pieces everywhere you go, right?
Yeah. Everywhere I go.
Do you always link up with a local there, or do you ever just try to go out there?
Sometimes locals don't want to link.
So then you just go out there on your own?
I went to Istanbul.
Yeah.
No one wants to link with us. As a matter of fact, my homie Naps, they didn't like Naps. The people in Istanbul were hating on my dog because he's black. You know, they
hating
were
on your
hating on my homie. Yeah,
wow.
They were fucking hating on because the way he was dressed, the way he would carry himself, and like they were hating on him. So forget fucking graffiti writers trying to link up with us. Like, the people didn't want to fucking link up with my homie. You know.
Okay.
So some places aren't friendly, or writers aren't friendly to link up. But then you could, I would say 9 times out of 10, or 99% of the times, I'm linking with a local.
No,
trying.
Okay, what I'm saying is, have you ever been to a different country, did not find a local, when it got canceled?
Hell yeah.
And it hit
yeah.
Really?
100% yes. Okay.
Wait, you just went into the piece of you didn't even know anybody?
Turks and Caicos. Okay, this is a destination, a travel destination. I went with my family. We went to a resort. We're out there. Yo, why did I fucking leave my family, went to the hardware store, bought spray paint, then came back, then went out when they were sleeping and fucking painted? I didn't link up with a local, and that shit's still there to this day. And that was probably 5 to 7 years ago. And people tell me, yo, I went to Turks and I seen your fucking shit, like, leaving the airport, like, I paint everywhere I go.
Everywhere you
go. I
try
to paint everywhere I go.
Well, because what's the worst that can happen? I mean, what's the worst
that's
ever
that
happened?
Can happen is you can go to some of these countries that are old fashioned, and they'll fucking cane your ass for some shit. Or if you get locked up in Japan, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You're sitting for fucking 21 days. Like, so the worst that
can happen... Have you been locked up abroad?
I have. The worst that could happen is you end up in jail. Or you end up dead. That's worst case scenario, because people have been fucking killed doing graffiti.
What, like a homeowner or something, or a business owner shoots you?
Yeah, shoot someone right in the back. These motherfuckers were on my property.
Right,
That's it. Case closed. That's it.
People will shoot you. Absolutely.
So
they have no sympathy for you.
Worst case. And then what about the third rail, or fucking getting hit by a train, or getting hit by a car on the freeway? It happens.
That's true.
You get hit by a stray. So that's the worst case that could happen when you're out there in a fucking neighborhood of a city, of a country that you don't know anything about. That's the absolute worst case.
Do you get a high?
Of course, yeah. It's a fucking rush. I'm addicted to doing graffiti. And as much as my orange is successful and people love it, I still, to this day, will fucking tag my name with a meme streak or a spray can or a scribe or something.
Anywhere you go, as if you were
and it doesn't have art. It's the fucking graph shit. It is addicting.
It's addicting.
It's very addicting.
Well, like I told you, to this day, first of all, everywhere I go, I read the graffiti. I look at the graffiti. That's all I fucking look at. I'm sort of wired to do so because I grew up.
Read the walls. You read the writing on the walls. If you want to know what the fuck is going on in the city, look at what's on the walls, and you'll see what's coming to town, what's happening, a fucking show or whatever. Like if your eyes are on the street, you're gonna see what's happening, and especially if you have that eye for graph, you could see like what gang is in that neighborhood or what writer.
Right. That's what I started looking at. I go, wait, that's a gang symbol. Yeah. Hold on a second, that was in blue or whatever. But to this day, when I'm jury trials, I was telling you, I think I told you off when somebody's talking, you're scribbling. Some people are doing little cubes and drawing a sunflower. Bro, I'm writing graffiti on that fucking. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. You're drawing a little dog with a unicorn thing. It's like some animal that doesn't even exist. Fuck that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm writing graph.
For sure.
My bro. Okay, so what's next?
What's next is I got that basketball court in Kendall. That's not really being like revealed until Basel, or I think it even got pushed back past Basel. So what's next for me immediately is Art Basel. The first weekend of every December.
Do you know this guy, Daniel Arsham?
Of course, he's from the fucking Crossing, Lingren Homes. I used to take the bus for 7th and 8th grade to Southwood Middle School with Daniel Arsham.
You know what's funny? Because his story. He started doing graffiti when he was little.
Yeah. With
a couple of the guys I grew up with. Mm-hmm. And he was like the young one.
Right.
And he ended up.
Yeah. So he went to Dash. From Southwood, he went to Dash. From Dash, he went to Cooper Union. Cooper Union's New York City. He never left New York City. He's been fucking putting in work in New York City since 1999. That's 25 years of fucking being in New York City as an artist. Whether he was learning the art is one thing. Right. But he's been in New York City as an artist with the idea of being an artist since 1999.
25 years.
And what a fucking accomplishment, dude. I haven't seen him for probably 20 years. Or no, probably fucking 25 years since he moved. I haven't seen him since he moved, I don't think.
You guys haven't reached out to each other?
No, we follow each other, and we have had little, but this guy's on another fucking level. Are you kidding me?
I mean, he's doing these...
Tremendo celebrity, dog.
No, I'm
celebrity.
Talking... But you are too, bro.
No. I'm not on Daniel.
But you're getting there. No, because he does these fucking installations.
Getting there is one thing. Yo, this motherfucker has collabed with the cream of the crop.
No, I know.
And celebrities he's a celebrity.
He's like the best in the world.
He's a fucking celebrity. He's a badass fucking artist.
He can get into any fucking cocktail party.
He's always
any cocktail party.
Very motivated and creative since I met him 7th grade.
Yeah.
Very creative, very driven, very cool.
Dude, I used to carpool with him to Hebrew school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I found out, I forget, I saw something and a name popped up. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
These Kendall boys. So, well, brother, thanks for your time, man.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
This is great, man. If you have questions, you want to reach out, how do they reach out?
Just shoot a DM.
DM, true.
Yeah, I got to get on my email shit, but that's like
who reads emails?
Yeah. No, a lot. That's the professional.
I know.
Reads emails. I'm not necessarily with it, but
they do the emails.
Emails are the thing, but I'm on the DM. Shoot me a fucking message, and I'm gonna check that shit within 3 to 5 hours, probably.
Wow, a legend, bro.
Thanks.
It's an honor, man.
I appreciate you.
Bro.
Hell yeah.
Take care, bro.
For sure.